So welcome back to the Testing Academy and welcome back to the Git series, right? So let's now configure this. So last time we have created our GitHub account freely, right? After verification, there is a verification code that you have to verify, and same I was able to create my GitHub profile, right? This is what you have to create till now. Most of the things that we will be doing now from is the local one. Then we will try to create some free repos afterwards, okay? So first of all, configure your Git, right? So we will configure this Git. So go to your command line. First of all, you need to basically run the command which is git config with the global username, right? What is the username that you have? So right now I have used a username which is awesome qa right? Awesome tta, this one. So I'm going to use that. So configure. So this is what I have now configured in this case, and the email ID which I have basically used. So you can configure this anything. For example, whatever the email ID that you have, I'm keeping this as it is, right? Which basically now configure that this is your username and this is actually your name and this is the email ID that you are using, right? So if you want to change again, right, suppose I have not used this one, I have used this email ID, then again you have to run and it will show you. So just if you run this command which is git config, so git is the first command that you need to basically check, right? And here configuration is done. For your configuration done, so basically what you have done is you have just told git that what is your username and what is the email ID that you are going to use primarily for this case, right? So first one is the basically you will see that, okay, suppose in this directory I'm going to work, right? So this is learn git directory where I am working, right? I'm going to create basically a lecture, let's say task repo, right? This is my automation. Suppose I have something that I want to basically do, right? I will go to the cd, right? And let's cd that task repo, right? Why we are not able to do that? Okay, right? So right now if I do ls, right, there is an empty, there is nothing, there is no file in this case, right? So if you want to make this as a git project, right, first of all you need to type which is git init, right, which is initialization. Now see, there is a magic happened. If you see that it basically told you that I have initialized a empty git repository. What exactly is a repository? This is your folder. So this folder is now will be tracked by the git. This is now the super example. Now if you see this, there is a new directory which is created here in the same folder which will track your snapshots, and it will have all the information about your logs, what you are doing, all of your branches that I will explain you, don't worry, head, and many more things in the same case. If you want to see, you can do ls -a, and here if you see, which is a -a basically means hidden files. On Windows, I think if you right click and on the view, if you select that, okay, show the hidden files, you will see this git folder also. You can do cd into this. Here if you do ls, here you will see all the basically folder present, right? So ls, if you see, right, we have head, we have configuration, description, hooks, information, objects, and references. All these are basically to track your files in a particular snapshot. That's it, right? So go to cd dot and we are back into the main directory, right? Now let's discuss about the first thing, which is checking the status. What's going on right now with the status, right? So if you see status, it is basically telling you that you are on a main branch, no commits yet, which means there's no commit, nothing you have entered. Right now in the working area, there is no commit, no snapshot I have taken. So your working directory is completely empty, nothing is there, nothing to even commit. Pay attention to this thing, which is a branch which is automatically created for you, which is a main, right? Which means that now this folder, right, it is now tracked as a main branch. Right, branch basically means it will have some files in future. If somebody wants to basically work on it or want to add some increment parallelly, right, they can create a different branch from this, right? This is what exactly it means. But after taking this branch, you have to merge it again to the main, so that everyone will have a updated code. Yes, consider this scenario. For example, suppose same example that I have given you, I have 3 files that right now present in my main directory. Now you basically also joined into my project. You took out a branch from my main folder. For example, you call this a feature. You added the 4th file. Right now I'm working with 3rd file and I'm writing on 3rd something. So you added a 4th file. So 4th file will also the diff basically means difference between both of us is that you have entered a only a fourth file, right? That's it. So fourth file will be added into the main directory. So this feature, of course, after it will be deleted. But when you basically take a pull of this main branch, you will see there are 4 files. 3 are added by me, 1 is added by you, and I have worked on the 3 latest. That's what it is, right? I know it's a little complex. Don't worry, we will understand one by one. So here is the example. Let's go with the flow again. So Git has basically a concept of staging area that I have told you, right? First thing is your working directory. If you want to move something to the staging area, you have to use a command called as add, right? Which basically means you have to add something in this case, right? So here in this case, what we want to do is, let me create a dummy file in this case, right? So how I can create a dummy file? You can use a command touch. For example, I have a.java file, for example, right? And if I do ls, you will see a.java is available. Similarly in Windows also, I think touch GitHub Bash touch command should work. If it is not there, you can right click, go to that folder, just type pwd, right? You will see there's a full path of your folder, right? That go to there and create a text file or a Java file that you can do. You can create a dummy file and you will see that this is the file that I am working on, which is a.java right now, which is present into the main directory. But right now, this file is not present on the staging area. This is just present at normally, right? Git is right now even not tracking this file. In this case, this is present into my folder, which Git is tracking right now, but nothing is present on the staging area. So staging area, you can think this like a blank canvas, right? Which basically hold the changes that you are about to commit. So whatever that you want to basically commit in the future, right? Commit basically means I will take a snapshot now, right? You are serious. You have added 3 files and you are now serious and you want to basically create a snapshot, right? That's what you want to do, right? You take snapshots, right? You want to remember something, that's why. But it starts with the empty add file. So if you want to add something, you can use a command code called as git add, right? So you can use git add dot command, which will basically add everything which is present into your folder. But right now I have a.java already available. You can specify like this also, or you can add dot star, which will add everything, right? So nothing happened. If you see after doing this, there is no error, nothing else, right? You have to do git status to check. Now if you see, we are on a main branch, no commits here. Commits are still not done. In the staging area, it is telling you that these are the files which are still, I recommend that you should put them into a committed area if you are done with this file, right? It is telling you that there is a new file which is present, which is the name is a.java, right? So which is still now, which is present into your staging area, not on the committed area, right? Which is this one area. It is basically present into staging area, not on the repository as of now, right? So here, if you do dot, it will add again. Now, if you want to add to that repository, right, you have to use git commit command. Now commit is followed by a message if you want to add. So this will be my first commit with a.java. Right, this is a message that I have done, enter, and now if you see, it will take some few magic and it will do some blah blah blah, right? And now if you see, if you do git status, you will see, okay, so after committing, if you have seen this, right, there is a very important message which is given to you, which basically say that hey, this is the file, this is the first commit I have seen, which is a.file. There is one file is basically changed. There is no insertion, there is no deletion, only one file with this permission I have added into your repository. So a new file is now present and I have taken a snapshot. So it basically means that this was your working directory, right? And you have moved this file from here to your staging area. Then you have basically told to create a snapshot. So a new snapshot with a.java is basically created, right? And now if you do git status, right, you won't see anything because there is nothing into your local area which is not yet committed. Everything is committed, right? You have committed to the local repository. That's what you have done, right? So now, so this is what it is there, and there is a git blame command, which basically, I think this is a future concept, but anyways, but if you want to see your commits, right, you can do this by using git log command. And now if you enter, there is a commit message. So every commit will have certain kind of hash attached to it, right? So this is hash basically means that right now what's happening is this was your working directory. It has moved to your staging area. This is the staging area. After that, you have moved towards this by committing it. Right now, this commit basically is recognized by this hash. So this hash is basically is this, right? And this is the name, basically a message that you want to add. So this is a message which is basically present here. Whenever this snapshot is basically taken, this is all the information which is basically now stored. What is the time was there, who committed this, and what is the email ID that they have, right? This is where the super important thing. Now see, this repository, this is just present onto my system only, right? It is not present on the anywhere in the cloud, right? It is not present at the remote. So this is where the remote repository concepts come in, which basically mean that if you, in order to upload this something to the GitHub repo, right, you want this to be available over the cloud so that anyone, for example, suppose new member joins, right, they can use, by using this URL of GitHub, they can basically also clone this file, right? They can use it. That's where you need to add this as a git remote, right? So you have to use this, which is git remote add origin, and this is the basically the path of your git. Now go back to your GitHub page. Here you will see there is an option to create a repository. Right now we will create a new repository. The name of that repository that we are going to make, let's see, I think it was task repo, right? This one, same name I'm going to use. Here description, I'm entering blah blah blah. I will make this as a public as of now. I will delete this after some time. You don't have to click anything, license selling, nothing else. I mean, you can choose which one you want. For example, if you want MIT license, that is fine. Create repository, and now this will give you a basically, see, if you see right now, right here they have basically added a license, right? So let's go back one second. In this case, I'm going to do none, and I think we cannot create new one. Okay, let me do again, right? So let text was 01 if you want to create again, and I wanted to create an empty one because I want to show you one important thing. Yes, so if you create a empty one, right, don't select the certificate part. It will give you the exact step-by-step process how to add your local repository to the remote. So if you are creating a new repository, you have to follow the steps, but we are already have a folder where a.java is present, so we will use this command, which is remote add this thing. So I'll go here, I will basically add this command, which is git remote add origin. So now I'm telling that, okay, this code, whatever the a.java that I have committed, right, please move this code to the repository of task repo 01.git, so that anyone who want to work, right, they can copy this and they can use it, right? So click on enter. Here you have to enter. So just make sure, this is just telling you that you should be in the branch main, and this is the command which is git push. Now I'm pushing my local repository, whatever that I have. For example, see, this was your folder, this was your staging area, this was your local repo with the commit one, C1, where it contains a.java, right? This one, you know. Now you're pushing this into the remote repo, which is hosted by GitHub, right? All these commands that you are using a protocol known as Git in this case, right? So you are using Git to do that. We are using a Git commands, right? Same Git commands will be used. So git push command, which will basically push the things. Now let's do one thing, click enter. Right now it will ask you the username and password. Authentication fail. I'll try with my username and password. Wait a minute. So you have to use this command, which is git push this to origin main branch. But again, it will basically ask you about a username that you are using and a password. So after, basically, if you see, right, August 2020, 13, they have basically removed, you cannot use your password. So what you need to do is go to the settings, click here, settings, right? And in the developer tab here, if you see developer settings, you can create a personal token classic, right? Create a token, temp token. It will expire after 7 days. All the repository that I am selecting and permission. So now you have to give all the permission to this token. Wait, let me check. So actions, GitHub actions don't allow. Commit status, read and write. Right? What we need pull request, read and write, right? So workflow, I'll check if I can do it for all. So I'm just checking everything right now because I want to show you everything, right? Okay, merge queues and read and write, metadata, Okay, that's fine, I think. Okay, so everything is there. Create a token and let's give it a try. So this is a token that is created. Let me use the command again. This is the username that I have, ADDA, and this is the password. Let me try. Okay, it is not working. Wait a minute. Okay, so I have used my email ID, that's why it works, and the same developer token that I have created, right? So if you see, it is telling you that yes, I have basically able to push the data and everything in this case. So go to your repo, refresh, and you should see that a.java is now present, right? So hooray, now you have successfully created your first repo that you can basically showcase to anyone, right? Now what I would suggest you is just click on this readme and go to the online markup editors, right? For example, you can use Dingler, which is super awesome, that I have used multiple times. And yes, so basically you can, whatever that you write here, right? I can upload my resume also in this one. Okay, resume for the promote, let's say, right? So let's say as that manager, you can write it like whatever, copy this, push it here. Ideally you should put what exactly this report is all about. Commit anything, for example, first commit. This is not first commit, actually this is second one. Second, additional information, nothing. Create a new file, and here you will see everything is added, which I really wanted, right? So now this link is public in nature. If you click on code, copy here and just give it to anyone, right? Here you will see they can see everything, right? So this is how you can share your resume also. If you want to, you can add your resume into the readme file and you can share this repo to your basically HRs or anywhere, right? If you want to. But right now we are learning it, so we'll go back. Let's go back to the same thing. So now we know how to add a repository, right? So if you want to add something, you have to use git add command, commit something, remote, push, everything. Now suppose that this was a case where we created our own new repo, right? But about, suppose this is a automation framework which is already created. How do I clone this and use it, right? So consider the same scenario. In this case, I'm gonna add a new file also. Suppose this is a b.java which is added by some other person, right? Let's say, and in this Java some blah 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 is there. Any commit I have added, right? So there are two files now. Okay, so clone this repo, and we will not use the same folder right now because it contains the same repo. So I'll just go back in this case here, and I'm going to clone this repo. I want to basically copy this into my local so that I can work, right? So I will use clone and the link. Click enter. If it is a public repo, you will see it will be automatically downloaded. But if it is not a public repo, it is a private repo of your own company, you have to enter your username and password again. So CD, if you see ls now, there is a task repo 101 which is available, right? Which is nothing but our repository one, this one, right? So I'll select this. Click on ls, and here you will see readme.md file, which is the file that you see here, this thing, resume for promote and blah blah blah. A.java as well as b.java, there are two files which are present now. So this is how you can clone also into your system. So that is fair. If you make changes, you can push also. For example, suppose I will add another file, let's say c.java in this one, right? So let's do one thing. Let me think if I can add something. Let me open this into the Visual Studio Code, this file which is c.java, right? I'm going to add some new code and I'm going to basically put them into the same main branch right now. So this is a Java file. So let's say public static method. Okay, amazing. So we'll say public class C, smaller c. This should be a working class, right? I think C. And I know it's very difficult to write without editor, right? So system s out hello promote, right? So copy this, and I think it should be running. Let me check if it is running fine or not. Okay, error. There is error. What is error? What is error? Okay, void name. This is not public static void main, right? String arguments. This should be like this. Okay, this is just a Java program that I have created. I guess nothing fancy. Hello promote should be printed. Let me check. Right, it is working fine, so it's a working project. Okay. Anyways, go back here. So now you have these files, right? Git status, you will see nothing is basically, it is now telling you that there is a one file that you have added, right? Now what you want to do, this is untracked file, I'm not tracking this. Okay, if you are not tracking this, please add this. So you have to do c.java. Now if you do status again, it will say I found a new file, do you want me to commit this? So right now it is present into your staging area. Yes, I want to add. So create a commit, which is here you will say c.java is added, right? It will do some magic, git leaks, blah blah blah, and done. Right now I have to push it again, right, which is basically will push into the repo and everything and all. If you see, now let's check it out, go and see, refresh and see, yes, c.java is available, is added by me only. Now this is how you can add to a existing repo, right? So this is also clear for you guys. So git pull master, if you want to put pull the code, right? For example, suppose we'll go back to this, right? So this one, if you remember, right, last one without 01, right? This one is an older one. If you do git status, you will see ls file, there is only a.java present. But right now, if you see, there are two more files which are added, right? So you have to do a pull origin and main in this case, which will basically pull two more files. If you see, it is telling you there is a one file which I have added. There is a b.java and c.java also. So there are three more files that you are behind in this case. So now if you do git status, you will see, sorry, git ls, normal ls, you will see all the updated files from the server which are now available here. So you have pulled all the code. For example, somebody added like 3 files or 500 files into the system. Now you can use the git pull command, which is git pull origin and the main branch, where from which branch you want to basically pull. Right now if you try to pull it again, nothing happens because no new things are present. Now let's discuss about the important stuff, which is branches.